everybody. This is the second video in the reading comprehension for North Halifax Grammar School. Excuse me. It's a bit about the structure question. Okay, and the question is this down here. How does the structure of the text, how does the writer use the structure of the text to engage the reader? Select 4 examples where the structure makes you want to read it. Explain what the writer is doing and why it engages the reader. Well, the purpose of this video and the ones that follow is to enable you to answer that question and get good marks. Okay, so here we go. I've already talked about structure, and in the last video, I talked about how I didn't understand it when it was used with me, and I was 16 at the time at grammar school, and I think it's fair to say that the structure of a text is how the bits hang together to make the whole. Okay, so if you think of it like that, how all the bits of the text are connected together to make the whole thing. Okay, and down here are the questions that will help you answer this. You need to think, what kind of narrator is it? Whose point of view is used? And does that point of view change? How does the point of view affect how the reader feels about the characters, about what happens? What's the time pattern of the piece? Is it all in the same time? Are there any words or ideas that run through the passage, joining it all together? So here we go. Let's go for getting these questions answered and getting them answered so that you get a good mark. So I'm going to read it and I'm going to talk about these things, okay? I'm going to try and answer all of them as I talk about the passage. I want you to listen, and then at the end I want you to write the answer to this question. Okay, here we go. So Carrie had often dreamed about coming back. In her dreams she was 12 years old again, short scratched legs in red socks and scuffed brown sandals, walking along the narrow dirt path at the side of the railway line, to where it plunged down, off the high ridge, through the Druids' Grove. The yew trees in the grove were dark green and so old that they had grown twisted and lumpy like arthritic fingers, and in Carrie's dream the fingers reached out for her, plucking at her hair and her skirt as she ran. She was always running by the end of this dream, running away from the house, uphill towards the railway line. Well, that's the first paragraph. If you think about who the narrator is, it's a third-person narrator, but it's very clearly being seen. Things are being seen through Carrie's point of view, and that's important because Carrie's point of view enables us to go back to a time before the time of the story in her dreams. Okay, now the second paragraph is quite a nice link here. She comes back, so this paragraph is linked to this paragraph. She's running away here, but she comes back. And this paragraph slightly distances itself from Carrie's point of view. It's more the narrator, the third-person narrator's point of view. But when she did come back with her own children, the railway line had been closed. The sleepers had been taken up, and the flat, stony top of the ridge was so overgrown with blackberries and wild rose and hazelnut bushes that it was like pushing through a forgotten forest in a fairy tale, the tangled wood around Sleeping Beauty's castle. Pulling off the sticky brambles that clung to their jeans, Carrie's children said, "No one's been here for hundreds of years. Not hundreds, thousands. 100,000 years, a million, billion, trillion." "Only about 30, Carrie said. She spoke as if this was no time at all. "I was here with Uncle Nick 30 years ago, during the war, when England was at war with Germany. The government sent the children out of the cities so they shouldn't be bombed. We weren't told where we were going, just told to turn up at our schools with a packed lunch and a change of clothes. Then we went to the station with our teachers. There were whole trainloads of children sent away like that. Without their mummies?" the little one asked. "Without their dads?" "Oh, quite alone," Carrie said. "I was 11 when we first came here, and Uncle Nick was going on 10. Well, this is sort of the second section of the story. This is told from the narrator's, the third point of view, and it tells, it recounts how Carrie and the children interact. Okay, and let's have a look at the last piece. Oh, and look how this joins here. Uncle Nick, it ends with Uncle Nick, and it starts with Uncle Nick. The next bit starts with Uncle Nick. All these are links between paragraphs. This next bit, Uncle Nick was old. He'd been old for years and grown so fat in the stomach that he puffed when he stooped. The thought of him being 10 years old made the children want to giggle, but they bit the giggle back. Their mother was looking so strange. Eye half closed and dreaming, they looked at her pale, dreaming face and said nothing. Well, this is the last section. I would say that there's a section here, Carrie's remembering when she was little. This section here, in the present, the children talking about the evacuation, and this bit here. And I think this is the children now looking at the mother, and there's a change of point of view here. Okay, it's been Carrie, here it's been the narrator, and here it's the children. There's a clear shift. You sort of go away to the children looking at the mother, and you know they're looking at the mother because they see her pale, dreaming face. You only know that her face is pale because the children are looking at her. So in terms of point of view, it's Carrie's point of view, it's the narrator's point of view, and it moves to the children's point of view. And that enables us to get 3 different ideas about this. Okay, so what kind of narrator is it? Well, it's a third-person narrator. Whose point of view is used? It's Carrie's, the narrator, the children. Does the point of view change? Well, yes, it does. How does the point of view affect the reader? How the reader feels about the characters? What happens? Well, the way the children look at the mother, you realise there's something strange going on. Their mother was looking so strange. Her eyes were half closed and she was dreaming. So we learn that there's something going on here with the mother. And we learn that because we see the mother through the children's point of view. I hope you're going to be able to write about this. Ta-da, let's clear all this. Okay, so what's the time pattern of the piece? Is it all in the same time? Well, it's not. You get the time pattern of now, when the children and the mother go back to the place where Carrie had been evacuated to, and you get flashbacks to the past when Carrie was 12 years old. So it's not the same time, and this is done because of the point of view. Now, are there any words or ideas that run through the passage joining it all together? Well, there are. If you look at dreams, look at the word dream. Dream holds it all together. Carrie dreamed. In her dream, she was 12 years old again. Carrie's dream. She was always running by the end of this dream. She did come back. The railway line had been closed. But you also get this notion of dreaming with sleeping beauty. Sleeping for 1,000 years. And then it links up at the end through the children's point of view. Their mother was looking so strange, eyes half closed and dreaming. They looked at her pale, dreaming face and said nothing. So I would think that the idea of dreaming is something that runs through the whole of the passage, holding it all together. It's Carrie's dreams. What's happening in these dreams? What does it mean about her life? And it makes me think I want to find out what's going here. So how about trying to answer the question, how does the writer use the structure of the text to engage the reader? Select 4 examples where the structure makes you want to read it and explain what the writer is doing and why it engages the reader. Well, you get this dream, don't you? And the dream, slightly threatening. Why is she running? Why are the yew trees plucking at her hair? Why are her legs scratched? Why is there a reference to the Sleeping Beauty here? That fits in with the dreaming. Why do we go to the children's point of view to look at them, read about them, looking at their mother? And they said nothing. Why do they say nothing? What's going on? Hope that was helpful. I really do.